Good morning, guys. Welcome to this Thursday, November 20th. Um, and Nvidia earnings, I guess, didn't disappoint. We we had a pretty good move to the upside and then some. So you can see from having a volatile day, but this ended up with the Nvidia earnings, and here you go. From there, from that point, we were closing in about this range in the 66.50, pretty much in the middle, and then they ran it up into the high, and we've been staying higher ever since. So we are in a pretty good spot here to start moving this higher, I think. Where's my capital flow chart on the? Hang on, looking for my capital flow chart on the ES. Where is it? There it is. All right. So here you have it. So we had a day before yesterday. We were really in heading lower. Took out these lows. Yesterday's trading was right at the edge there, and with the Nvidia earnings, we closed towards the upside. And now we are heading right back up here to the 6760s, and yep, 60 this attractor to 6800. Anyone's guess, but I would be probably up for it. I think this could turn the whole sentiment in the market. It's kind of, it's almost a little bit um, too much influence from one company, but it has been pretty. There it is. It has been pretty. Uh, Leaning on this way, and it's the biggest seller in the hammer. The most has been the AI stocks, and Nvidia is just the poster boy for that group of stocks. So good earnings there. That it's still healthy. Market's gonna like it, and all these tech stocks is gonna come roaring back again. So that's what we're looking at. I will start from the long side of the market and see how far they can take it. I think it could very much be a sentiment change for maybe even the start of a little Santa rally. Let's hope for it. So starting off, looking at the bi-week, move away my F1 again. So 6800 up here is going to be your congestion area to pay attention to. You have the attractor right now is 6760. It's going to be a small short-term attractor, and if you can get up extend early weakness as well. There's some profit taken early on here or something like that. And running this down here, I would watch this four little edge at the 6705s as your reverse retest area. So these two support areas is your reverse retest. And if that holds, if not, we are probably going to be heading back down range again. So looking to buy weakness right now against the 6735s. Now this edge may not be that strong in the middle of this range, leaning against that ledge here on the overnight. The mean of this London distribution. But this ledge here, so 67.35 may not be, it's a buying opportunity, but may not be that super strong. 725, 6705s, 6695. If both the 6705 and 6695 comes out, I would be back on the back range. I'm taking off that long bias and going back range bound. So that's how we start off today's trading. I think we may have a good day and an up day today for sure. It would be unusual, would be kind of an odd reaction to see the entire market up like this. And then end up on it, you always get a different piece of news come out, and that could change your sentiment. But that's how it gets started this morning. And on the way up, short opportunities up to that 6800 level, potential shorts against the 6755, the 65s, 75s, 85s, up to the 6800s. Any of these could be a nice short opportunity. I would look for shorts against them. Because we are not, it's not like we are in a flat out price discovery or anything like that. We're not in the move out of the middle to the upside just yet. Even if it looks pretty good, uh, we are pretty much trading in this lower range again. They had a clear, once they clear that 6,800, we'll be back in action again. So on the way up, looking for shorts against those levels, 55, 65, 75, 85, and the 6,800. Just not that aggressively. So once you get don't make the mistake of buying into an area like this, you're going to try to get long on the way up and look for a pullback. If you are in an area, look for potential short setup, but it's not super. You don't have to be super aggressive. Don't expect big trades out of it. And I'm going to try to scalp edges at this point. See if I can get in and just get my 5 points out of an edge or something like that. I'm kind of experimenting a little bit with this break-even behavior right now to see how much I can get out of it. Yesterday I had a few trades where I had at least 5 points, not quite 7 points, and I got shaken out of it. So okay, so that's tighten it up a little bit, see what we can get out of it. But the idea is really to get this profit when you have it, and not trading a little bit. It gives you a little bit more bigger payouts if you're right on it. But more than often you're on an edge. I see you times and then you miss when it actually moves. So you have to be kind of working at the edge a little bit to make sure you get in at the edge. If you're looking for a bigger move, reversal move on like that. But right now I'm going to try a bit better. So that's just part of trading. You have to try different things, adjust a little bit. These charts are primarily built for reversal to the mean kind of trading. Watch the edges, again, engage the edges, at the edges. Look for retest failures, rotations back to these. It's just with this volatility we have, it is not these. On edge. You can sit in a trade for a good time, let the market work for you. So anyway, so we have a good spot to start to look to buy weakness, watch that lower edge. 67 of bias, and then on the way up, looking for short setups against these upper areas, and then the upper level 6,800. If that comes out, yeah, we are back in action if that happens. Let's see what kind of crazy day we're gonna get. Now I saw AMP Future send out a notice about potential news. So the employment situation supposedly out at 8:30 today. It's about the margin change. So at 8:30, watch for that. About 15 minutes. Could be a little bit volatile. I don't think it's going to necessarily change anything because it's not a complete report as far as I know. But if that comes out, the employment situation, it could be a bit of crazy stuff. But it's just delayed. I'm just still not clear when things are going to come out or not. So. But I heard on the news yesterday that they were not going to come out, and then I see AMP put out the information. It comes out, and then there's what we're doing now. Here I go again. NASDAQ. So I'm only covering really the three markets right now. That's what I'm focusing on. So NASDAQ. There it is. Took a while to switch over, didn't it? Here's my NASDAQ F1. Make this bigger. So, all right. So NASDAQ, nice retracement. That's one we're really going to have an interesting dynamic going. So they were down here probably this lower edge, this 24,600, 700s. Yesterday was to that make or break day. They were down here, then they got a nice reversal into the close, not quite running it up to the highs by any means. They were just back loitering in this kind of range, in the middle of the range, and then NVIDIA earnings came out, and then aftermarket they run it all the way up to the upside, and we are right back up in action. So we're going to see a test of that 340, 350 today, I'm pretty sure. And if that comes out, I think we are back in action. We can certainly start retracing this whole area We have one more edge, I should say, to get past in this area, and this is the 25,600. The upper edge is 50, lower edge 50. Kind of had to pass that area too. So they right now the first hurdle is going to be that 360s, and the next area is going to be that 25,500. And 50 big range. So on the upper edge, you just stay here for a while. So we'll see how that shakes out. But it's I think we could, the first hurdle 360 370s, that keeps him on the long side. If they can't get out them up above that level going into the London close, then we're probably going to be range bound at that point. So that's how we get started, guys. Against 25,050, 20s, 24,990 to 25,000s, 24,950s down to the 24,900s. The fairly tight ranges, small edges here in between on the way down. But I would say if they clear down below that area, the 950s, I would be taking off the long bias. But I would be looking to buy against these lower areas for rotations back up again. And on the way up, looking for short setup. 200s, 25 to 50, 360. Above this 360 level, you see that volume edge on the side here. If that comes out, and then we are then going to be in, that volume edge comes out. I'm watching my projection. It looks like it's dragging a bit, doesn't it? A little bit sloppy. If that area, this 360 volume edge comes out, I think we're in good shape to keep going, and I would be watching for that 25 to 750 range next. So, but still looking for short setups against this area for rotations back down again, and then we'll see how far how this whole thing is going to develop, especially now when we have potentially employment situation coming out here at 8:30. Now we also have jobless claims come out, Philly Fed, existing home sales at 10, leading indicators at 10. So we've got some news coming out at 8:30 and at 10. And quite a big question mark is just that employment situation that's going to come out or not. And then finally, bond market. The last one I really cover, or trying to trade, as you say. And the bond market right now is kind of hurdling in a little range. They are as a range bound market. And at this point, looking to buy weakness, sell strength fairly equally. If anything, I would probably favor the short side, looking for shorts against the 1620 and the 18 to 20 and the 1623, 24 rotations down, these two resistance areas. And if they above that, I would just go back range bound. But it may be slight bias to the downside, given that they're down there trying to flirt with that lower edge. If they take out the 1610s, I would stay on the short side and see if they can run it down and challenge 16. Given that we are pretty close to that lower edge on the bonds. So that lower end edge on the bond, if that comes out, we could be in a pretty good mood to the downside. So 16 comes out, we could see it run down here to the 114s. But right now they are kind of trading in a pretty tight range. You can see how this edge 17, 17, 16 has been more and more obvious as an upper edge right now. So anyway, so that's 12, 1606s, looking to sell strength 1620 or 18 to 20, 1623, 24. Above that, I would look for a run up here to the 17s, where I'll start looking for short setups again. And so that's kind of how we get started on the bonds. I'll see if I can get on a good bond trade, but I'm going to be very particular about that, see if I can find a good trade location and an obvious setup. I know kind of what I'm looking for. And it's basically this ZA failure, or when you get up early, getting in close to the open, you have a nice retest setting up. Those are the same things, and it's early on trading. It's like right now at 8:20, Eastern bond market is opening. The first few hours is where they have usually those things setting up. It can happen later on in the day if it's a busy day, but usually if it's a normal day, it's the first 3-4 hours you have, or after that landing close, you really have to look for those setups. So range bound trading on the bonds, we are leaning long on the ES and NASDAQ. Just for reference, a real quick oil and gold. So here's your oil. It's just oil is just to the upside a little bit, but it's staying in that lower range still. Hasn't really moved directionally a whole lot. And this is your gold, and it's pretty much sitting in this range as well. The 40, well, it's actually in between the 4,000 and the 4,130. So building value between those two high volume areas right now. The chances are we're going to see them going back and forth between that 4130. 4,000 level. Anyway, but like I said, so looking at the bonds, range bound bonds, back to the ES, and so we got about 8 minutes before we find out is that the employment situation is going to come out. But again, stay on the long side of this, unless for some reason that the employment situation sets a completely different direction. I don't think so. I think the shutdown is just coming just out of that shutdown. So I think the Nvidia earnings and the positive tech news is what's most likely going to drive the market. Alrighty, guys, we'll leave it there for now. So good trading. Watch for that employment situation, and then let's see how good of a day it can get. All right, guys, good trading. See you back at 11:30 for the next update. Later.